Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall-Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And in March, we've been focusing on springing forward. How do we keep that forward momentum going no matter what? We can't always choose what happens to us, but we get to choose our response. We get to choose how we navigate forward. And today we have an amazing guest who's going to be sharing some of her journey and what she's learned to help us move forward, even with adversity, even with challenges, that we can keep moving forward in a powerful and positive way. So I'm really looking forward to our conversation. I'm looking forward to us coming together and to have each of us poured into. One of the things I love about our weekly show, our weekly time of coming together, is that it's an opportunity for me as well. I get to learn and grow and be poured into every week. I can feel the energy and the connection of all of you as you tune in, whether it's listening live or you're listening to the replay. Collectively, we're coming together in community and growing together. And it's such an enriching journey. And I appreciate each of you being such an important part of it. And I want you to get the most out of our time together today. So in a moment, we're going to take a moment to pause and breathe and to become still, open, and ready to receive. Because I find we can move so quickly, get pulled so many directions, have the day suddenly be in charge, and we're just getting carried along in the momentum of the day. And when we choose to stop, we choose to pause, we choose to allow ourselves to be poured into, it can change how we navigate in life. When we can pause and choose our response, choose to invest time and energy in ourselves and in those things that matter most, that can help us bring forward the things that matter to us, the things that we want to see in our lives and in the lives of others. So I'm so honored that each of you have decided today to connect, to pause, to slow down, to allow us to pour into you and you into us. It is an honor and a privilege. And as we are slowing down, we're becoming present. I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose. I like to picture all the way to your toes. I'll even wiggle my toes sometimes to make sure the air and oxygen is getting all the way down. And then out through your mouth, like through a straw. And taking in these deep breaths allow us to bring oxygen in. It also allows us to become more mindful and present, to release what no longer serves, to lower our stress levels, our cortisol levels, and to become fully open and ready to receive. I even picture when I breathe out and I'm releasing what no longer serves, that's creating space inside me to receive more and be able to have more connect in and be processed within me so I can go deeper, dig my roots in further, and be more aligned with who I am. So I'm going to invite you, as we're slowing down, taking a moment to really connect in with what matters most to you. And as you're doing that, I invite you to close your eyes, put both hands on your heart. It's a great place to feel into what matters most to you. And as you feel that heartbeat and even that pause in between each beat of your heart, what is it saying to you today? What's speaking to you? What do you need right now, real time, to empower and support you on your journey? What do you need? What can help you move forward, even if you are facing challenging times or adversity? What are some things you need? that you're willing to receive, because again, you have choice. So what is it that you need and are willing to receive? Beautiful. Let's take that information in. Another big, deep, beautiful breath as we become fully present, eyes open. And I invite you to take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart that you need and are willing to receive. Let's start to co-create it. Let's start to bring it forward into reality so it's not just swirling around in us, easily forgotten and missed, or we get distracted. Let's write it. Let's keep it top of mind throughout our time together today and throughout your day. And be open and excited to be supported, that you don't have to figure it all out. We didn't say identify how, we just identified what you need. So be open to being supported in the how, perhaps in a way you never saw coming. Look forward to being surprised at how what you need is brought forward. Be on the lookout, watching with excitement and anticipation of support coming your way. And hopefully some of that will come forward in our conversation today. Beautiful. So with that, I am excited to have our guest just take a moment and share when she took a moment to stop, pause, and listen what was laid on her heart. Pat, I would love for you to share.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. What was laid on my heart was the words that came to me: God, encouragement, positivity, and unconditional love.
Beautiful. Positivity and unconditional. I'm writing it down. I love it. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I can feel the richness in each of those words and the power and how much we need support and encouragement and positivity and love. I love it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know for myself, it was a reminder just to trust the flow. Even as things come unexpectedly, to know that I am on purpose and that the next step will come. I don't need to worry. I don't need to push. I don't need to make it happen. I can allow and trust. Take each step. So I love it. Listeners, how about you? What was laid on your heart? What was a reminder you received? What is it that you need today? Perhaps something that was laid on Pat's heart or my heart as we took a moment to feel in has added additional thoughts or perspectives to what was laid on your heart. As we get ready to go to our first commercial break, I want to invite you to stay present. Don't run around trying to do the to-do list. Really give yourself the gift of these 2 minutes to stay present, to listen to what is in your heart and your spirit. Allow that to come forward in our conversation today. And we'll look forward to talking to you and continuing our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. It's amazing the shift that can happen when we just stop and pause, breathe, and allow. I have found those pauses have made such a profound difference in my life when I remember to do them. I don't always remember. I'm sometimes so much in motion, I forget. But when I remember, it helps me tap into my truth, dig into my resilience, remember what matters, and changes my perspective sometimes on how I see things, how things are coming at me, and how I can most powerfully, on purpose, and effectively navigate forward. So I hope today you will use the pauses we have built into the show to support you, to help you continue to move forward in those areas that matter most. And if you're facing challenges today, you're facing adversity, you're feeling so much coming at you, please feel our support and know that we are here with you. And those pauses are a great time to integrate what can serve and support you so they become part of you as you lean back into the day. So I encourage you to really use those moments, use that time. And I'm very honored and excited to introduce our amazing guest. You got to hear from her on our heart level in our opening segment. And I wanted to share a little bit more about her formally, so you have a bit of a snapshot about our amazing guest. And you can always dig into her bio further if you're interested in learning more. And I encourage you to do that. But let me give you a little bit of information about our amazing guest. So Pat Coleman is an international best-selling author, CEO of Behavioral Health Response Incorporated. She received her undergraduate in business administration from St. Louis University, an MBA from Fontbonne University. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Pat?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So I get a check mark there. Beautiful.
You got it.
I appreciate that. And she has received numerous awards in the areas of leadership and behavioral health. And most recently, she was named, and this is for the second time, as Titan in the Titan 100. So really huge honor. She is passionate about faith, family, and community. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic and heart-centered Pat Coleman to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I'm so happy to be here.
You are so very welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I wanted to start our conversation with why. Why is this work of helping people in this way, helping them move forward in the areas of leadership and behavioral health and all the different ways you support them? Why is this work so important to you?
The work is so important to me because it is my heart work. It's the impact. I love making an impact on people, systems, things, whatever it is. It took me to be 40 years old when I had my aha moment, and I knew that this is just the heart of me as a person. And so I have a tendency to get involved and where I can make an impact through leadership and in the behavioral health world.
I love that. Do you mind sharing a little bit? I'm curious about that aha moment and what really helped you connect in with your heart work, and that I love that you put it into action. It wasn't just something like, oh, that's amazing, and then you went on, but that it shifted how you showed up in the world. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that?
Yes. I was told quite often when I was younger that I was bossy. Later on, I realized that bossy was the leader in me. I was just this one leader. And I also realized that anything that had something to do with making an impact or something better. So when I was around 40 years old, I started to just look at the body of work of everything that I had gotten myself involved in from, I would say, maybe a teenager through that period in my life. And then I started to realize as an adult woman that I would get happy. I would feel so good about the things that I was getting drawn to and getting involved with. I was like, this is my aha moment, because when other things would come my way, I didn't have that much interest in them. They didn't make me smile or make me happy or give life to me. They didn't touch my heart. And so when I started to just go back and look over myself over the years, I'm like, aha, I realized that this is what I am supposed to be doing and that this is my purpose.
I love that. Was there a something that happened at 40 that caused you to suddenly look at these things, or just kind of gradually over time you started noticing and reflecting? It's a little different process, I find, for everybody.
Yes, very true. I would believe that at 40, it just seems as if some people, it happens to them at 30, 40, 50, but at 40 is when, I don't know, I guess God just put it on my heart to just start really taking a step back and looking at my life and looking over my life and digging into really what makes me happy. It just was put on my heart at 40. And then that's when I really started to evaluate, pay attention to, go back, and it was just at that moment. It was just put on my heart.
Beautiful. And I love that you listened and you explored. Beautiful.
And I listened.
And I love
Yes, and I listened.
And you listened. And you listened. Yep. Sometimes we don't.
Sometimes we don't. I agree.
So I love that you did, and you leaned in and took actions, and have been such a big part of behavioral health response. And I wanted you to just share a little bit about that organization and some of the work that they do, and your role there, as I know it so aligns with who you are.
Yes. Behavioral health response. We're known as BHR to our community. I came to BHR 26 years ago as an HR consultant. And ultimately, I ended up working full-time for the organization. And I realized that it was an organization I would end up falling in love with. It is a clinical organization. It's 24/7. At the time, it was a 24/7 crisis hotline. So anyone that's dealing with a mental health emergency or issue or some type of substance issue, they can call BHR 24/7, and we're staffed by master-level clinicians. And so we will take the call, and they will get an assessment. That assessment will determine if a face-to-face was required. We will also try to divert people from the hospital. That's basically what it was. Try to divert people from the hospital. So sometimes all they needed was in-the-moment support. But the ones that really needed help, we would navigate them through the hospital system. Then we would do follow-up with them. Over a period of years, we started to do follow-up with them. And so now you're probably hearing about 988. It's a 3-digit national number that was won through legislation, and it's national. So you can dial a 3-digit number, 988, and you can reach BHR or another organization The organization BHR that I work for right now, we take 40% of the calls in the state of Missouri, and then we're a national backup center for those type of calls. So that's BHR in a nutshell.
Thank you for sharing, and I just honor the incredible work that your organization does and helping meet people at. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a pivotal moment in their life, and bringing in that support and helping them get what they need at that time to help them move forward is so important around the world. So I love that you're such a big part of that. Thank you for your work that you do in the world. And I know a big part of your heart and what keeps you grounded and focused and helps you prioritize is your belief in faith, family, and community. And I'd love for you to just share a little bit about that. Why do you believe in that so much, and why is that so important for all the ways that you're helping people in the world?
Oh, definitely. I am a woman of faith. I am happy that I don't have to apologize for that. But I do recognize whatever others' beliefs are is fine with me as well. But I can say out loud that I am a woman of faith. And I just can't do anything without God in my life. And He's been in my life forever. And I just can't do anything without Him. And I realize that when I do take the time to pray and give some thought to things, it is what helped me to allow to listen to, to listen to that voice when I'm making a decision. So it's really been very, very key to my life and helping me to make an impact. The mental health world, dealing with the underserved, dealing with the most vulnerable people, I know that I wouldn't be able to do it without my faith. And with that, it helps me to handle that in the family, handle that in my community. And so it is that important. I just can't do anything without it because it is very hard work, but it's very worthy work, and it's very rewarding to know that I participate in saving lives.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And so I'm just thinking, as we tie into that core, that faith, that support, your belief in God and how that helps so much of what you do. It's foundational to what you do and how you navigate through life and in the work that you do and the choices that you make and how you show up and what you say yes to. Do you have a tip or a piece of advice around that for our listeners that can help them navigate, can help them move forward even in adversity, even in challenging times? Do you have some thoughts around that?
Yes. I would say when things are challenging, for me, I try to take a step back and I pray. The best thing to do is to admit the fact that I'm not okay, and to know that it is okay to not be okay. And then when you put the right people around you, you can express that. You're able to get them to understand that. So that's been very key to me as well. I have people around me that I know that I can talk to and that they're there to support me even in my time of when I'm just like, I don't want to be strong. I'm not feeling that right now. And then I don't have to go to the outside world and really show that either. I learned to take a step back, be with myself, get around the people that can help fill my cup. Because when I'm not full, I can't show up whole for others. And I realized that. So thankfully, I have a job that has PTO time. And instead of me going and inflicting that on other people or people around me, I take a PTO day and I just get myself together. So I would say that to do everything that you can to show up whole just as a person, but it is okay to not be okay. And having the right people around you, they understand that and they will support you during those times.
Really important. I love that. Do you have a piece of advice or a tip or a suggestion if somebody right now is saying, wow, I don't have that, a way to maybe start building that in their life?
I would say for me, it took a lot of prayer. Mm-hmm. I had to get outside of myself, and I had to know that because I have this relationship, it helped me to learn how to get out of my feelings quickly. Because for me, when I sit in my feelings, or I'm saying, well, I don't have anywhere to turn. I don't have that. And as much as I say that, I have a tendency, and I've done it in the past, I sit in that. I don't know how to move from it. I can't move forward. For me, I pray about it. I sit still. Sometimes we just have to learn how to sit still, right? And then with those positive people that you put in your life, they can help uplift you. If you're only talking to people that's going to get down in there and in the grind with you and not help you get out of it, that's not who you need. You need the people that's going to listen to you, or the people that you're going to be around. And sometimes I have a friend that we just sit and look at each other, or she sit and look at me looking at the ceiling. She knows what I need. And so I will say that I would just pray about it and even pray for that relationship so you'll know how to listen to that voice.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that so much. And listeners, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. Here's a perfect opportunity to take 2 minutes for you and just think about, do you have that support around you? Do you have those relationships in your life that you can rely on, you can just be with, and they can lift and hold you up too, and you can do that to them as well. And I think take a moment and feel in and just see with curiosity, not with judgment, curiosity. And if you discover, wow, I'm not sure that I do, I think that's a great thing to put as something that you want to pray about, that you want to bring forward, that you want to build in your life, and look for opportunities to do that. And if you find that you do have that, I think that's something to celebrate and remember to lean into when you're facing challenging times, not if, when, because we all face challenging times, and it's okay to lean in and get that support. And there are organizations like PADS that you can also reach out to if you're feeling like you're just at that point that you just need help now, that you are not alone. So just take a moment, think about some of these things, and we will continue our conversation shortly.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes and just sat in some of the questions and felt in a little bit. And I've been thinking, one of the things that I have found really important in overcoming, facing challenges, being able to move forward, building that support team is to build our resilience and to even realize how resilient we are. Because guess what? You've made it this far. It's not by accident. You're here for a reason and a purpose, and you are far more resilient than you know. And I think we forget that sometimes, and those pauses, prayer, slowing down can help remind us of that, kind of ground us, dig our roots into some of that truth. And one of the things we frequently talk about on our show series are when we have books and resources that we feel like can support and help. And so there's a couple that I want to share about today. I'm going to have Pat share about one in just a moment. And also wanted to share one that our media productions arm of our company is sharing about today. It's called Living Resiliently. And it's written by Carrie Kelly. So it's Living Resiliently, Black, Blind, and Female, The Journey Continues. This is her second book in the series, and she's releasing it today. You can find it on Amazon for a special rate of $1.99. And one of the things I love about this book is it reminds us how resilient we are and gives us tips and encouragement along the way as she shares some of her story and some of her journey. So I encourage you, those who are looking to build your resilience, are looking to move forward in a powerful way, look it up on Amazon. Living Resiliently, Black, Blind, and Female. It's available for the next 24 hours, so you want to take action quickly for $1.99 USD that you'll be able to lean in and get a copy. And I know it's a book and resource that will be very supportive of you and your journey. So I invite you to lean in. You'll see us sharing that out in media. And I hope that it's a resource that you find highly supportive and empowering on your journey. And with that, speaking of resources, I know that you have an international best-selling book called Overcoming, which also ties so beautifully into our subject today, Pat. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about this book, why it was created, and what you hope it empowers people in, what you hope they discover, and the cover. I think your cover is so beautiful, too. So please share.
Thank you. The name of the book, Overcoming, Living Our Best Life in Spite of. Mm-hmm. This was an anthology that was put together with myself, and I chose 32 other Black women. Mm-hmm. We wanted, my thought about it was, number one, to empower other Black women and to empower women in general. Mm-hmm. To let them know that we all go through some things, and to know that you're not alone in these things that we either are still overcoming or we've overcome. And so each chapter we share things in the areas of trauma, mental illness, loss of loved ones, poverty, discrimination, sexual abuse, financial illiteracy. Someone talks about from Harlem to Harvard, and in my thing, I talked about raising my 2 Black boys in this world. And so it was just one of those books. I just wanted to keep people encouraged to know all of us are still standing, but we have had some things that we needed to overcome or continuously overcoming.
Beautiful. And as this rippled out into the world, what's some of the response that you experienced, and as lives are starting to be touched and it ripples out heart by heart? Anything you'd like to share around that?
Yes. Usually if I'm talking, I'll talk about my chapter. And it talks about Big Girl's journey. And what I'm talking about there is my father, he coined me that nickname when I was a kid. So I asked later on in life, why was I named that? Again, the bossy thing came up. But he also always knew that there would come times throughout my life that I know that Big Girl would show up, and she would show up in a huge way. And so my thing, I talk about all of the things that my sons and I went through, but at the same time, I really became an advocate. And I want people to know that our children need us to advocate for them in this world, in the school system, or whatever they may encounter. They can't do it alone, and we have to be there for them. And so I just want people to know that all of us have experienced some kind of trauma.
Yep.
And dealing with that trauma and knowing that you can be okay through that trauma, that is the biggest deal that I want to share that you'll get out of this book.
Beautiful. And where can they find this book? And actually, before you share where, what does it look like so they have a visual and know what to look for when they go to the appropriate place to find it?
Oh, yeah. The book is yellow. The theme behind the yellow, there's a yellow chair. There's yellow heels that women usually, we put on our heels. Yep. And then you'll see lemons, lemon in a basket. And basically, another take on saying, take lemons and make lemonade. And so when you see the cover, that is how it looks. And then it has on there overcoming. It says a compilation by Pat Coleman, but it's overcoming and living our best lives in spite of.
I love it. I love how bright and vibrant it is. I love that chair that we're being invited to claim and sit in. I love that we get to make lemonade out of lemons in our heels. I love that. So beautiful.
Yes.
I love it, love it, love it. So for those who are...
Book, may I say that throughout the book, instead of you seeing a lemon and a glass of lemonade, you'll see that there's the tip of our heel. A tip of a heel is sticking inside of a lemon. That's how we make our lemonade.
There you go. I love it. It's like stepping on top of being lifted up by. I love it.
That's right.
Beautiful, beautiful. So those who are feeling a pull towards this book and really adding this resource to their library, what's the best way for them to lean in and get a copy?
One way is Amazon. It is still on Amazon. You can type the title of it into there. And then also, if you want a signed copy, you can go to my website. And my website is www.patcolemanllc.com. And then you can order an autographed copy through the website. And I would like to offer the first two people that contact me through the website, I will gift you an autographed copy of the book.
Wow. So give the website again. Remember, first two, act now. What's the website again?
www.patcolemanllc.com.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I love it. Yeah. And what a generous gift and opportunity for everyone. But don't limit yourself. Everybody, if you're not the first two, you can still get a copy. It just won't be that complimentary one. It's a valuable, encouraging, empowering book. And I feel like we always can use having those in our heart, in our life, in our library. So I encourage everyone to lean in, check it out. And you had mentioned that a little bit of what you write about and typically talk about is raising your boys in this world and some of what you faced and overcame in that. Do you mind sharing just a little bit about that?
I will. Thank you. Through a period of time, I learned to advocate for my sons. I raised two black boys in this world. And so sometimes they not sometimes, for a fact, they went through a lot. They went through the discrimination in the school system because I put them in during the desegregation school times. Mm-hmm. They went through racial profiling, always being pulled over. If when they learned to drive my car and all they drove was a Honda Accord, they would always get pulled over just constantly. Being able to, not being knocked down because of their talents. They were very talented when it came to sports. But sometimes in the school system that they were in, they had to run up against, things in that area, teachers not treating them right. So they've been through quite a bit. And there were even times when I felt as if I failed them, And I learned that that was only because I was a teenage mother. And I will say that as well. So that what happened was I was a teenage mom. I didn't know at the time how to really fight for them in some instances. I didn't know how to get through the court system. I just really felt like I didn't have anyone of power, I would say, on my side and where I could get advice and what I could do that would be best for them. But I will tell you, if you look at the statistics of my boys and then me being a teenage mother, people wouldn't even think that we will be on the other side and thriving in our lives at this time. They're thriving, I'm thriving, but I believe it was all because of, putting God first and learning how to advocate for them and advocating for anyone that needs help.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And do you mind giving us a snapshot of thriving? Are there some things you can share around that, just so people have the range?
Like when, what's the question again? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Let me say it a little bit differently. So with so much that you came through and have overcome, and they have as well, do you have a snapshot of some of how they are thriving now and how you're thriving now?
Oh, yes. For me, wonderful career through BHR. When you visit my website, you'll see that I have a great coaching business. The next generation of leadership is important to me, and so I coach. I coach people during their times of, trying to go up that ladder at work or just in their lives. My son, one is an engineer, and the other one is an entrepreneur. And he and his wife, they have a thriving business in the healthcare sector. And then he has a real estate business. And so just thriving and making sure that they're getting and being there for their children, providing them with a great education. We're very tight and close as a family. We love each other, but, most importantly, we like being around each other. And so I would say we all are doing pretty well.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I just love for people to see the journey and to be able to see all that has come. And I love that the next generations are being set up so powerfully and beautifully and supported in all the work that you're doing and in your lives as families. So I just honor that. I celebrate that. And I absolutely. I think it's important that we celebrate each other too on the journey and what we're bringing to the world. So I appreciate that, honor and celebrate that. And a question I have around that is, as you're looking ahead at grandchildren and all that is to come, do you have something planted on your heart, a legacy that you're wanting to see come forward in the world that you are called to be part of and want to see echoed out there that we can support you in?
Ooh, when it comes to, I would tell you my most greatest title today is Granny. And when I started to have grandchildren, as much as I love my sons and my daughter-in-laws and what have you, I always say, I'm just going to kick you all to the curb. Just move on over there and get me to my grandchildren. And for my grandchildren, I'm really trying to teach them the importance of family. Of course, we are teaching them about having God in their lives. But most importantly, teaching them to be kind. Just be kind. I want to make sure the kindness that I have shared with my family, with my sons, with my friends, with the community, that they learn kindness in that kind of way. That is really, truly the legacy that I am really wanting to leave with my family.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And as we get ready to go to our next commercial break, listeners, I think this is a great moment to think about what is the legacy that you're wanting to create, to bring forward, to see. What is that title you are most proud of and claiming wholeheartedly and wanting to bring forward, and take a moment to really sit in that and celebrate that and embrace it fully. The legacy of what you're wanting to create and see, and that title that brings you such joy, or that role, or that way of being. So take the next 2 minutes and really deeply, fully feel in, see, enjoy, embrace, and we'll continue our conversation in just a moment.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. I was taking a moment to pause and think as well. What is a legacy I want to create or I want to bring forward? What is something that really matters to me? And there were a couple things that bubbled up. One was, I really want to help make the world a better place. Heart by heart, life by life. If in those moments, those conversations, that chance encounter, that opportunity that we have to interact with one another, I hope that in doing so, I have done more good than harm, that I have uplifted, encouraged, and been open and received. So I hope that I create a ripple that makes a positive difference. The second thing that bubbled up was, I want each of you to know that you are beautifully and wonderfully made by design, just as you are. You're valuable and loved. I think too often we believe the lies that say other things. And I want to share the truth of how important and needed and what a difference you make in the life of those around you, heart by heart, life by life. And the biggest gift you can give the world is more of you, the way you're made, the imperfections that we're actually made to be how we are, And sometimes we try to hide those. We try to hide our vulnerabilities. We try to hide things that we see as different. And yet I think those differences are gifts that we can share. The different textures and experiences that we have in life are really a gift when we're willing to shine in them and we're willing to share them out. So that's just something that I have deeply in my heart and a legacy I want to see come forward, and curious to see what you found as you took a moment to feel in and see. And I want to invite you at the end of our show today, don't just rush back out into the day. Choose to take time for you, a couple of moments to just breathe in what has served you. Look back at what was laid on your heart at the beginning of our conversation and see what action you can take. See what has shifted. See what you are called to do, be, and bring forward as a result of our conversation today. And put that into action. Choose to be that as with your next step, your next breath. Lean into that support that can bring you forward. Perhaps some of the resources and books we've shared today can support you on your journey. Then that's an action you can take to lean in and check that out, or feel in, or get a copy that can support you. So really take those actions. Choose to bring forward the things that matter most, and know that you can overcome, that you are resilient. You absolutely matter, and I hope you hear and feel us cheering you on. Now, with that, I would love to make one of the resources available is our amazing Pat. I'm going to have her share her contact information fully. Please know that's on purpose. That's not just for drill. That is truly a way that we are trying to help you be able to lean in and connect with somebody that's leaning into you. So with that, have your paper and pen ready. And Pat, I'd love for you to share your contact information, the best way for them to lean in and go deeper with you.
Yes. We'll start with the website, and I'll always reach back out. That is www.patcolemanllc.com. In addition, my email is pat, R as in Robert, Coleman.com.
Perfect. And they can go to your website if they're wanting to take advantage of that book opportunity and getting an autographed copy.
Absolutely.
Just reminding everybody that has forgotten. Want you to know about that. Beautiful. And Pat, I just so appreciate you leaning in today, joining us, sharing your wisdom, tips, and insights. And did you just have a final parting thought that was laid on your heart that you wanted to share with our listeners today?
Yes. So the final thought is I wanted to go back to what Rebecca said, that we are all beautifully and wonderfully made. And remember that we all are CEOs. We are chief empowerment officers of our own self. And I say, take that with pride and let's just go out there and do this. You know, I've been saying this year, let's go.
I'm picturing, I love that. Chief, say that one more time. Chief.
Let's go.
I love it.
And then we are our own CEOs, chief empowerment officers.
I love that. I'm picturing the yellow high heel in hand.
That's right.
Ready to go.
Empowerment officers of me. Yes.
I love it. Thank you, Pat, so much for joining us today. I just deeply appreciate that. I have gotten some great tips and insights as you've shared. I am sure our listeners have as well. Oh, thank you again. And listeners, thank you for leaning in, joining us for this time. I hope you've gotten some great tips and insights, and that you do take a couple of moments today and see how you can encourage yourself, how you can encourage those around us, and how we can continue to move forward and thrive no matter what comes our way, that we can continue to rise up and bring forward those things that matter most. I hope that you choose to bloom where you're planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter.
Next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel.
Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.